Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, throughout the centuries, it has been accepted by all that you were born either a boy or a girl. If you had a penis, you were a boy, and a vagina made you a girl. And nobody knew any different except for the small number of people who knew that their sex organs meant nothing, that their brains told them something entirely different. But these people were not about to make that known publicly. And there are cases of people who successfully passed in public for the opposite sex, but for the most part, these are pretty rare, and for the most part, those who had that situation simply conformed to cultural norms, only acting out their true identities in secret, if at all. It's only recently that the general public has begun to understand that there is a difference between sex and gender. And it is only recently that surgical techniques have been developed that enable the transgender person to physically match their sex with their gender identity. But even as gays and lesbians have achieved greater acceptance, transgender acceptance has lagged pretty far behind. Assaults against transgender people have become more frequent rather than less as they have increasingly stepped out into the public eye. And that's why it's important that someone like the former Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, came forward, hopefully making it easier and more acceptable for those who come after her. Naturally, the churches are going to have problems with this. It's hard for religious people to admit that their perfect God made another mistake. Full disclosure, I'm an atheist. But maybe the problem for these religious people is that they insist that their God is perfect. The gods of ancient mythology were deeply flawed, and yet people still worship them. And it is pretty obvious that the perfect God that they keep talking about certainly had nothing to do with the creation of this world. Evidence of his mistakes are everywhere. Maybe an imperfect God might be easier for people to believe in. Thanks for listening.